What's going on, everybody? Live and direct, live on the set. That's what we always do. It's how we always do it. How should we be for the people this evening? We got right here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There we go. Broadcasting, streaming, multiple platforms. Two. We got some ugly creatures in the background. We got some beautiful people in the background. We got some venomous vipers in the background. But we out here for good. So we're not worried about what's that movie? The hate you give. Come in, baby girl. How are you?
Good.
I love you.
Yeah.
Good to see you. So come in, mama. How are you doing? Ooh, Daddy made a big mistake.
What happened?
Come. Come. Close the door, okay?
Okay, be quiet.
Yeah. Because Daddy's recording right now. So you got to close the door, baby.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Y'all can be alive, you know. It's all good. Yeah, live and direct, live on the set. Who is that? Dang. Appreciate you, Dang, for stopping on by. Good to see you. We are here, ladies and gentlemen. We are here. We are here. We are streaming on a couple of platforms tonight. Let's see if my homegirl, she's busy. We streaming on some YouTube tonight. We streaming on some what else we streaming on? We're streaming on TikTok tonight. We out here. We're streaming on a couple of places. Appreciate all you guys. AR Marketing, what's going on? AI Marketing, pardon me. I said your name incorrectly. Caleb, how you doing? Real strong, powerful name. What's going on? Good to see you over there. That is a language I cannot understand. Who is that, Lenny? What's up? If y'all see me looking elsewhere and you see me speaking to people off camera, I'm speaking to people on YouTube as well as TikTok. We streaming on both tonight. Jackie, what's going on, Jackie? Where you living at? I am in the good old United States of America. Where are you at? I've been good. Jackie was on a very funny live earlier today. I'm gonna touch base on some of that. Try to help people out. Want to find out, are you a hater? There's so much hate in the world, so much problems, so much negativity, so much drama, so much sadness. Without making this sound, I look clean as F. I appreciate that. They don't sound like that. Ain't nothing wrong with a compliment like that. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't be afraid to give a compliment like that. I appreciate that, and I hope you look the same. You in South Carolina? South Carolina's a lovely state, beautiful palm trees in good old South Carolina. We are addressing hate tonight. That's what we're doing. If you're a hater, please come on up. I would like to have conversations with haters. I would like to have Lisa. What's up, Lisa? Lisa has always been a beautiful name to me. I would like to have a conversation. What's good, Pablo? Appreciate that. Hey, Lisa. So, we are talking about hate. We are on TikTok, Cast Their Crowns. I'm not a hater. Yes, what's up? JJ, what's good? You want me to be a hater? No, I don't want you to be a hater, but we can respond to that. Hate is not cool. Hate is a bad thing. But let me put this straight. There is a time to hate. I have to be honest. There is a time to hate. When is it not the time to hate? When you just met someone. That's definitely not the time to hate. That's a problem. That's a social disorder. If you just hate people who you just met, or you're introducing yourself to the world and all you talk about is hate, that's a social disorder. If you're on TikTok, please go ahead and share live. If you are on YouTube, some water right here. Go ahead, do the same thing. Hate is problematic. And there is a lot of hate on the internet. There is a lot of hate on the platforms. Social media seems to be a place where people can definitely express their hate. Um, they can go into the shadows where they're lurking. People can't recognize them or can't identify them as being a true person or knowing their background. So they get involved in a lot of hate. I was on a panel. I appreciate that. Same to you, Pablo. I was on a panel earlier today, and it was filled with hate. It was actually, it wasn't sad. It was comical because there's a lot of people who are running panels, and it's as if they're like failed cult leaders. That's really what they sound like. And a cult leader works like this. A cult leader has to look at the world as we all know it, but they have to paint the world in a way that only extremely vulnerable and gullible people would believe them. So they have to pick the weakest, the feeblest members of society in order to back up their following. And I'm going to tell you something. How would you recognize, oh man, is that a cult or not? Basically, cults work like this. Who's the successor of the cult leader? There isn't one. So if you're involved on a panel and they're talking about the demise of all people, that's a very negative place. The only reason you will be in such a place is if you've experienced pain and hurt in your life. So you think this person who's speaking to your pain cares about you. They don't. They really don't. Because people who care about your pain, what do they try to do? They try to find means to remedy your pain. That's what they do, right? So if you went to a physician, some people are not too keen on the healthcare system. We got to set that aside because I'm talking about any trusted physician that you know. If you go to a person like that, whatever it is that brought about the pain, they're going to try to help you not just manage, but heal that pain. They're not going to tell you that this is what caused the pain and this is why it's so bad and talk to you for the remaining years of your life about this thing that caused the pain. That's not helping you. You're not getting any relief from that. So if I got stung by a bee in my neck and I went to a doctor and the doctor said, yeah, the reason for your pain is you got stung by a bee in the neck. Yeah, I know that. That's why I'm here. But are you telling me maybe how to abstain from bees? Are you telling me what is the antidote or the remedy for the infection possibly from the bee sting? What exactly are you telling me? Why are you telling me what it is that I know already? And that's some of the things that's going on here. Truck driver was good, truck driver. That's some of the things that's going on here. So when you're vulnerable, when you're gullible, when you're a person that's easily taken advantage of, they're going to look for you. And to my ladies out there, to my sisters, to my mothers, to my wives, to my daughters, to my aunts, to my grandmothers, to my goddaughters, you should always understand that the devil is always trying to get you. He's always trying to get you. And that's the oldest story in the book, right? That's the oldest story. He's going to pry, he is going to try to find ways to crack your mental wherewithal and look for insecurities and exploit it. Now, with so many people with failed relationships or unhealthy relationships, it's obvious that you're going to experience them. So that's the direction they're going to go to with you. They're going to give you the impression, because you give them the insight to do so, they're going to paint the picture that your life is surrounded by pain, hurt, everybody's out to get you. That's what a cult leader does. So a cult leader wants you to disassociate and separate yourself from society, even physically, and even talk about or do things that's going to lead to your demise. And that's what I witnessed with my own two eyes, and I'm not the only one. I witnessed that today. And it was these group of women who self proclaimed were intelligent, and they kept saying that women need to disassociate themselves from all men. Now, if you actually love and care for women, you would know that you can't disassociate yourself from all men because there would be no more women. Because the way of how life works is life works off of two. That's how life works. In case you haven't realized that, or in case you're just infused with so much hate that you don't care to acknowledge it, it doesn't matter. The bottom line is, it doesn't matter. If I don't believe in tomorrow, the sun will be here. So, these individuals are going to look for women who have suffered great amounts of pain, or even if they themselves didn't necessarily suffer the pain, they're looking for someone to blame for why they don't have the results that they would prefer. They don't know how to identify love. If somebody loves you or has your best interest in heart or at mind, they're going to tell you what it is that love looks like. So if they're going to tell you what it is that love looks like, that's so you can obtain it and you can provide it. Do you provide love in someone else's life? I literally heard the host say she wanted her own son to be no longer on this planet Earth. That's her son. If she feels that way about her son, who did not ask to be born, what makes you think she cares about you? That is her son. That's her son, her child, whom she carried, who she delivered. And guess what? She lives in the United States of America. While I don't agree with it, she could have gotten rid of that pregnancy. She chose not to. Chose not to, then brought up the child, raised the child. The child is still a child of hers. But she's filled with so much hate and evil, an evil person. That is the same kind of wicked mother you would read about in storybooks as a little kid. She was just infused with so much hate. She would go on a recorded app, and tell the whole world she doesn't want her son to be here. That's bad. Now, what happens when her son sees that and hears that? You see, so this is the type of monsters that's out here. They're looking to create more monsters. There was a time that I went on a business trip to LA, and when I got back home, flying back, not even back home in my house, one of my business associates, I got back, he picked me up from the airport. And he was like, man, you've been doing a lot of traveling, because I was on the road for a few days tending the business. And he said, it's late. You're more than welcome to stay here. I got a room for you. And I told him that I had to go home. I was like, I've been away from home. I need to get back home. I miss my bed, my family. And I also told him, I said, my family wouldn't even like that. They miss me, right? They would be upset if I was to get back and not be home. And he looked at me and he said, you're actually blessed to have somebody who loves you to go home to. Is it that a person, regardless of how they live their personal life, can identify love and say, you know what? That's a good thing. But yet and still, it goes to show you that there can be a hateful person who they're going to act as if love does not exist. You don't have to be in a relationship to know what love looks like. Everybody is not in a relationship at the moment. There's nothing wrong with a person being at a stage in their life when they may not be in a relationship. There's something wrong with speaking against relationships because you're not in one. That is bad. You're a wicked person. And that is why you elect to do so. You elect to speak against people in relationships because you're not in one. So, to make yourself feel better for not being in one, you paint the picture that relationships themselves are a bad thing. That's stupid. How would you know a relationship is a bad thing if you're not in one? Could it be that whenever you were in one, you were the bad guy? And I'm talking to men or women. Were you the bad guy in the relationships that you were in? Who is that? Zach? I hope I said your name correct. Zach, what's going on? Good to see you, Zach. Jackie, always appreciate you. Always appreciate your support. Jackie Love, that's a good friend over here on these TikTok blocks. What's up to y'all on YouTube over there? YouTube on my left, TikTok on the right. Appreciate all of you guys. Jackie's a good supporter. Jackie's been in there from the beginning of these lives. So these are individuals who they can only operate off of hate. Pain is very bad. You know, they can only operate off of trauma. And the thing about trauma is that there's a trauma unit. See, the trauma unit is where people who've suffered this pain and they go to this place to get healing. That's why they're all there. It would be inappropriate if people who all suffered trauma went to one area and then all spoke about their trauma. Especially if you're not even discussing how to avoid trauma moving forward. You can't say, hey, stay in the living room for the rest of your life. And that's how you avoid trauma. So people will tell you, you know what? This is what I heard today. So I'm going to refer to some things of what it is that I heard today. That Greenland, Iceland, these are some countries that's a matriarchal society, yet and still they're not in Greenland. Why wouldn't you just simply go to Greenland if you felt that aligned with your way of living? Would they accept you in Greenland? I'm talking to you. 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 If you're here in America with your Western philosophies and Western ideologies, are Greenlanders looking for you? Are they inviting you? Are they checking for you to come to their country and bring your ways? Because whether you're an arrogant American or not, you would need to know that there are many countries that they're not really too fond of American culture when they are spreading an agenda that they find to be toxic or negative. And that's not anti-American. These are just individuals who say, we have a particular culture and we don't want whatever's being promoted in the media to come here and infiltrate our citizens. And you know what? People have the right to do so. People have the right to do so. So if you're a person who's speaking against husbands, like what I saw today, if you're speaking against households, if you're speaking against respect, here's my dear. If you're speaking against respect, again, you're a wicked person. What's wrong with love? What's wrong with a healthy bond between a man and a woman? What exactly is the issue with that? Right? Why would people be so upset over the fact and the idea that, hey, guess what? Everybody doesn't necessarily share the experiences of what you share, and they're pretty happy with where it is that they're at. And the only thing of what it is they want to discuss with you is how to make things better, not how to make it worse, not how to make it the same. She walks by me every day. Her and love are the same. A woman who's caught my eye, and beauty is her name. Ladies and gentlemen, beauty. Isn't that a nice introduction?
You really just sang Drew Hill just now.
Yeah. When's the last time a man has sung Drew Hill to you?
Oh gosh, never.
See that? See that, ladies and gentlemen?
Never.
That's what love looks like. Now, I just want you to know, just so you're fully aware, I'm streaming on YouTube at the same time. So obviously they can't see you, but your voice can be heard.
Okay.
Okay?
So how many people you got right now? Where is it? I'll turn on my TV. Hold on. I'll put it on mute though.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's the same cast that Crowns Inc.
Okay.
And you'll see me on YouTube. Majority of my lives have been on YouTube. I'm like really now getting into the TikTok space
Okay.
with the lives and all of that other stuff. You know what I mean? So we talking about health and wellness. So
Okay.
I hope you're ready for that because we not
All
we
right.
not,
What's up? Talk
we
to me.
this is the anti-hate live.
Okay.
All right, so no hate is permitted. Now you can discuss why you think people should hate, but we're not gonna tolerate it. But we'll
That's a
educate.
strong word.
Yeah. Now to be clear, I did point out earlier before you got on that there is a time to hate. That's very true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There is a time, but it is not a time to hate on introduction. Like you can't just meet someone and say, "Hey, how are you? I'm a hater." Right? Like that's not cool. Um, it's socially inappropriate. A person would lack social etiquette if they did that, and um, it's just weird. Why would anybody do that? You know. So typically, you want hate because it does exist for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. Some people would say you should never hate, but I mean it does exist for a reason. But like I was about to say, typically that is such a strong feeling that it has to have strong reasons for it, right? And it still has to be managed. You can't just say and just turn into a monster in the world because love is real, but you're not supposed to love everyone, right? You're not supposed to help people hurt you. You can love someone who you feel or know is showing hate towards you, but you still need to protect yourself. So you can't allow the fact that you love them to mean I'm going to then allow them to show hate towards me physically, verbally, emotionally. You can pause and say, hold up, we can't work this way. You're going to have to find a better emotional pathway to get your point across outside of hate, right? So we talking about haters. I heard something which I found to be detestable, but nevertheless it exists. And it was a woman today. I was actually on her panel, and she had said that she wanted her own son to no longer be with us. Um, but that's how much hate she had in her heart, particularly for men. And I had a conversation with my brother earlier today, a pretty lengthy conversation, and then we turned it into a joint conversation with our mother. But before our mother got on, we were talking about a lot of the sick behaviors of men, right? Like creepy, wild, nasty, like basically not like you just not even reading the room. One of the things of which my brother shared with me was a dude who was talking about he was in this chick's DMs. Now keep in mind, he's known this woman for decades, decades, but he got the social media access to her, and he was in her DM for 18 months. 18 months. And that's wild. Why are you in somebody's DM for 18 months? Why are you DMing them for 18 months? And they're not responding, mind you. You know, so it's a lot of sick, insufferable behavior. And we were discussing that. And the sad reality about that is that for every creep and for every weirdo, there's a creep and a weirdo who is quote unquote successful at being a creep and a weirdo. So everybody doesn't stand against it. Some people are going to either like it, give into it, allow it, enable it. You know what I'm saying? And then we have problems on our hands. I know you got a lot to say about that. I know that's your field of expertise. So
I
go
mean, that's a
ahead
lot.
and you can
That
take it
is
as
a
far
lot.
as you want.
That's a lot. First of all, that's tough with a woman saying things about her son. However, I have seen some stories of moms having to raise their sons, right? This woman had to make a decision to have her son arrested because he attacked her over a phone. Okay? Teenager.
Right.
I think he looked about a good 15, 16, maybe. And a lot of women may be experiencing some difficulty raising their sons, especially if they live in certain areas. Their sons can tend to turn out bad. You know, there is a record high of children who have unalived their parents.
That's true.
It's very unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
But
I do think that people need to make better decisions before they have children.
True.
You know, we think it's cute, you know, to be playing around, and the kid is gonna be like, you know, the way we want him to be. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
It don't work like that.
Yeah. According to her, she didn't have much choice, because I have to be fair. She didn't have much choice about the conception, according to her. Um, and even in such circumstances, when you don't have that choice, as you say, you have choices to respond. You got what I'm saying? I don't think it's appropriate, even with such circumstances, to then put it on your child, because children have nothing to do with how they get here. So if let's say the mother, because of the biological part in the situation, it's going to fall on the mother, meaning the responsibility, or the choice rather, is with the mother to make, because nobody's going to look for, I'm not even going to say father, but nobody's going to look for him to make a decision, right? So her and her support group, which hopefully she has one, they're probably...
I can't find this on YouTube. What is it? It says Cast Their Crowns?
Cast. CASTTHEIR. Crowns, like what you wear on your head. Ink. I'm on there.
Okay, there it is. Okay.
Come on, man. I'm riding a horse like a true prince. You know I'm an expert horseback rider. You know that, right?
Oh, that's what's up.
That is what's up.
I'm allergic to horses.
What?
Yes.
How did you find that out?
I found out because I used to live in the Bronx, and we had an officer come through, and he was riding his horse. And everyone was petting the horse, and I was like, yo, what's your horse's name? The horse's name was Hennessy. Okay, nice so name. I'm petting the horse, and next thing you know, I couldn't breathe. I was like...
That's hilarious.
I was like, oh shit, I'm having an allergic reaction. I had an allergic reaction petting the horse.
That's hilarious. It's sad. No, it's not hilarious that you're paying, but it's hilarious that you're allergic to a horse and went through all of that.
I know.
Horses are beautiful animals.
I know. That was the first time, and it wasn't in my adulthood. And I was like, what? I never had that reaction when I was a kid. Yeah. I used to go stay on the I used to go to summer camp, and they had horses and animals, and I never had a reaction, which was weird. So
maybe it was his dirty horse. Maybe it's his dirty horse. Maybe NYPD ain't taking care of the horses.
I mean, he could have used a bath. I can say that he could have used a bath. It's the dander. It's not the hair. It's the dander.
Look at you. Look at you. I like
What?
that.
I know.
Using it, talking all. What is the word we would use for that? That's not even how you. That's not even
What, dander?
biology. Yeah, because I know what dander is, but
That's
that's not.
basically his dandruff. I'm allergic to his dandruff. His ashy.
I know, but what is that field you're discussing? That's not biology. What would we consider that?
What?
That's you're dealing with what's with the skin. Come on, what's with the skin? Dermatology. You sounded like a
No. It's
dermatologist.
no. When I have allergic reactions, I have an asthma attack. So it has nothing to do with my skin. I didn't have an itchy, like I didn't itch or anything like that. It was inside, so I had to go see an allergist.
Oh, okay. So an allergist then. So you're talking like an allergist. Those are the type of words that they would use. Not everybody's familiar with dander.
Well, it's just
Mites, right?
yeah.
Mites and stuff like that. Dust mites and everything.
Mhm.
Everybody doesn't know that. But you know,
The
that's what
things
that's
that we
why
can
you're
be
here.
allergic to in our environment.
Mm-hmm.
The
That's why
older we
you're
get,
here
it
though.
does change too.
Yeah. So that was bad though. Back to the point. That was bad of what she said about her son. But I mean, if somebody would get on this particular platform, record, and say that about their own child, what is it that what could you do for me? Could you help me when I feel pain? Because what do you think you're doing to your son? He's easily gonna come across this. It's not difficult to come across what it is that people say on the internet. So if you're gonna get on a platform like this and talk about your own flesh and blood that way, how you think you feel about everybody else? You can't have a positive, healthy outlook because you don't even value people's privacy. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm not gonna lie to you.
I know you
A
won't.
lot of parents are having some difficulties with their children nowadays. So it's a major problem going on. What does it stem from? I can't pinpoint it right now. I don't know, but I do see, some of the causes can be somewhat of like a poverty issue. Why some things tend to go awry in the children.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Ooh, my fault.
I do know that the teenage years is some of the toughest times for teenagers in general
Yeah.
because they're dealing with a whole slew of hormones. You know, they're going to school with other kids. They're dealing with their own shit.
True.
You know,
True.
so if we're not checking in on them, we don't know what we're dealing with until something happens. Until there's like a blow up.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So I feel like this is why I think that a lot of people should be having their children evaluated, even though I know they don't like the stigma
Mm-hmm.
of IEP and stuff like that. But it will help more children get accommodations through
Mm-hmm.
the school system to get access to mental health services, extra accommodations so they can, do better in school and stuff like that. These kids are suffering. These kids are suffering with depression. They're
Mm-hmm.
suffering with anxiety, undiagnosed ADHD. Some children are dyslexic. Like, a lot of kids are going through some stuff, and unless you're not checking on your kids, they're gonna think that you don't give a fuck about them.
True. You gonna watch your language for me, right?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. It's a family program, my dear.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. You're right. One thing I just can't stand, I can't stand parents who blame their kids. I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. I find that to be extremely pathetic. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that. The integrity and the bond and the sanctity of parenthood is one that should be protected. Now, I will say that it's very easy for a child to violate that, especially in their teenage years, especially in like their latter teenage years, like I'm gonna say 15 on up. they could definitely start to challenge that and speak against that and make it seem as if their parents were never this, that, and the other for them. And you're like, what are you talking about? I raised you.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? You know what I mean? So they can show that ungratefulness, but it's still not appropriate to air out your grievances about your own child. If you do that, like I'll give you an example. Dr. Umar Johnson, who I find him to be pathetic,
Ooh.
right? I find him to be absolutely pathetic. Appreciate you, humble. And this is why I find him to be pathetic. He, like me, have basically decades worth of experience in the educational field. So when he speaks to education, many times he's accurate when he's speaking about evaluations and when he's speaking about probabilities that they'll use against your child and misdiagnosis and everything else. A lot of times he's on there. But I got to look at this individual who claims to be a child psychologist. But then when he has issues with his own child, what does he then say? So, how can you refer to your child as a struggle YouTubian? How can you refer to your child as a smurf? Where is the whole black queens forever thing, right? Your child, wouldn't your child be a black queen? Wouldn't your daughters be a black queen? Now, why would you also speak about your daughters in the sense to say, my number has been the same? It's not your child's responsibility to reach out to you. And your child shouldn't be finding you where everybody else finds you. It's completely different between being a child and being an audience member. I can't expect my child that, hey, when I'm in your city, come and see me at this public venue where I'm at for everybody else. Then recently, when he had another issue with another woman who he was with, what he then got into was going into the whole woman's son's IEP. That's all confidential information. So why are you exposing her child having particular needs and the write-ups of those particular needs and everything else? Like, that's not even professionally sound, and I don't see how a parent could do that.
Okay. Mm.
What's that, Olivia? You know, so I mean, I find him to be pathetic. And then there was a time when I was my son and I, we were driving, and it was when he was on the Daily Wrap Up. I think if it's not Daily Wrap Up, it's Wrap Up Crew. You know the guys from Brooklyn, and they got a pod. He was on there, and like my son and I, we were just laughing. Like the stuff he was saying was comical. It was just so comical. But he was talking about saving the community and parenting and the reason why it's not this and it's not that. But the reason why he primarily speaks against fathers to sons is because he doesn't have any sons, right? At least none that he's public with. So he doesn't have any sons. So it's like you're saying this is what's failing the community, but you won't say anything about fathers to daughters, right? Because you actually have daughters. But if you don't have sons, then you're going to say they're not taking care of their sons. That doesn't seem to be the case with anything regarding you. You got what I'm saying? You don't seem to be in that particular light at all. So how could you provide any form of insight? What's up, bro? You of age? Yeah, he's out of here. You know what I'm saying? So how can you actually get into that at all? You're never going to help anybody like that. You're just going to take advantage of people who have the door open because they may feel away. Maybe the system didn't go right in their favor. Their love life didn't go right in their favor. Parenting didn't go right in their favor. And you basically just prey on them. And I'm not with that.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I really don't have too much to say about Dr. Umar. I feel like every so often we're gonna have these people come to the surface, right?
Mm-hmm.
They all want to be in the spotlight. You know, they all want to have something to say. So, I mean, between Dr. Umar, Priscilla the Queenmaker, Public Defender, you know, like there's a lot of, you know, big names in this realm that all have valid points, you know, but truth be told, we're all still flawed people, okay? None of us are perfect. Good is subjective. Good is something that we try to be. So we're all going to make bad decisions. So I don't really put too much on Dr. Umar because I feel like he tries too hard.
Yeah. Well, I had an unsolicited conversation with Pubic Offender. I wasn't where he told me
Did you
that
call him?
he told me that his wife abuses him. I don't know why he felt it necessary to share that with me, and she calls him out of name, but he did.
His white woman?
I don't know what she is. But that's what he told me. I was speaking with other people, and then when I was done, he wanted to address me because I was speaking to them about. I mean, basically, from the interactions you see, I promote family, so I promote what it is that I partake in. Right. So if you look into what it is that I'm about, you're going to see what I talk about. I'm against anything that is anti that, right? Because I'm pro that. So I'm against anything, any individual that is going to harm family. So if it's a dad, I'm against that. If it's a mom, I'm against that. If it's a son, daughter, I'm against that. If it's government, I'm against that. Not speaking about them just as who they are, but any form of activity, slogan, ideology, agency that is going to not help but hurt, especially when there's already pain. And in my professional life, I've been fortunate enough and had the skill set to actually help families. I know what it's like to sit at a table and have opposing families there and they're ready to go to war. They're ready. But you have to be a credible person in the community where they could sit down and at least have enough respect for you, where they're like, listen, I'm here at this table because of you. So I may not like them, but I'm here because of you. Now I'm going to sit there and go, hey, listen, we got to deal with this as a community. We can't allow outsiders to come in and take advantage of our dysfunction. You know what I'm saying? So while I was licensed and trained to do certain things in that aspect, that's not what I feel I'm there to do. I'm there to help. If we can't come to an agreement on how to deal with it as a family, in totality, then decisions will have to be made. If you tell me you're going to handle things in a harmful way against someone, especially when children are involved, I have to respond to that, right? Because I have a responsibility at the end of the day. But if you're like, hey, listen, I know regardless of whatever it is I tell my son or my daughter and how I raise them, when I'm not in their company, they could be a completely different person than how I know them to be. So I know they could have done something to someone to harm them or hurt someone, but guess what? I'm here to respond and hopefully we can get past it and move on. Then that's a beautiful thing. But if you're just on some, nah, he ain't do that, she ain't do that, I know my child, and da 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 da, then I see where the ignorance of your child comes from. It comes from you. So at least while they're under my care, I have to be concerned with everybody, not just them. You're concerned with them. I'm concerned with everybody. And I'm concerned with how they come to school is how they go back home to you, right? But I'm also concerned with everybody else's child with how they come to school. So if your child is trying to do things negative to other people's children, I'm going to step in. And if you come in here acting like a maniac, I'm going to respond accordingly. You know what I'm saying? So, but all of that stuff, again, that's how a professional should respond. I can't then go and take a kid who I know that this is what this kid has been through and then come out here and then tell people because I engaged in an unhealthy relationship when I claim to be about relationships and then start exposing it's a child. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I agree. I do think that a lot of the dysfunction in the school system is a parent problem.
True.
So, um, I do think that they do need to involve parents more, like they did when we were kids, you know. Because I know the schools I went to, they didn't play, certain things, but I also had a parent that was, invested. So it's tough when you don't have, the parents are not on the same team,
Very
and
good
actually
point.
creating a conductive environment for the children. It shows.
True.
It shows in my daily life. I live in New York City, and we see a lot of dysfunction in our school system due to lack of parenting skills. So, I do think that the boards got a lot on their hand, being that Mr. Rump took office and did a whole bunch of changes due to the DOE. So, I don't know what those is looking like because I don't work for the DOE. So people who work for the system would have to tell the parents what's going on, like, how they're going to make and implement the changes that they need to make, because it looks like they're trying to take cell phones away from the kids. I talked to some teenagers a few days ago, and, they were talking about some really strict rules on, the bathroom policies and stuff like that. Like, so there's a lot going on in the school systems in different places. So, I know my children start school next month, and, I'm just like, okay, what's going on this year,
Yeah.
with everything, because, I know they want these kids back in the classroom, and I know that truancy is a big problem.
Right.
In the school system right now. Bullying, of course, is a big problem. Violence is a big problem. Just alone, there has been a lot of unalivings of students that are, it's a lot. It's a lot to look at, So I think it's time for the parents to, put their feelings to the side and really, like, do what they got to do for these kids, because, it's looking pretty bad right now for them.
Yeah.
As I talk to some people who are behind me in age, and, I'm seeing the level of education that they have, and it's appalling.
Right.
It's appalling.
Right.
I'm like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah, because something that happens quite often is far too many parents that are just like willingly throwing their children over to agencies that don't know their children. And you're not really giving your child a fighting chance if you're just quick to go ahead and do that. And too often you have children, like, if a child's parents, let's say the parents are in court, what happens quite often is both parents are in court, civil court, family court, for their child. But then as the child grows a little older, you start to see then one child, the child, is now in juvenile court, but guess what? It's only with one parent. So it was the discrepancy in the beginning where the two parents, one filed whatever against the other. Now our child is at court. They may not physically be represented at court because most judges won't hear it, but it's about a child or children. Now, when they get into all of that, the child is growing up. Typically, one parent is not going to be in the picture as much as they were prior to. Thank you, Rosie. I appreciate that. But what happens now is that child finds people who look to exploit their pain, look to take advantage of their void in life, doesn't want to be any support or aid to that child, but they want to say, hey, look, you feel hurt like me? Come join me. So two hurt people, what they're gonna do? Look to cause and inflict more pain. So now that kid is getting in trouble. And now when that kid is getting in trouble, it's just the one parent. Quite typically be the mom. And the mom is there with that one child, could be a son. And then that's it. And now that son is gonna have, so it's like their life, you can see the pattern. So you can see how it is that there's people who are agents in society that's just watching the kids like, oh, you got suspended a couple of times before even third grade. Ooh, I like that. Oh, you only got one parent that's coming to school for you. Oh, okay. Oh, you absent quite a bit. Oh, okay. Yeah, you. I'm wait. I just can't wait for you to turn 18,
Mm.
and then
I
at
know.
that point you book.
Yep. I tried to tell a young man that, right? That live in my neighborhood. I did that. Me and him had a nice little talk. And I told him that. I be trying to tell these young men, there's a number waiting for you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a number waiting for you if you don't get your shit together. If you don't pay attention to yourself and make decisions for yourself that's gonna benefit you, you're gonna get that number.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you hang around with the wrong people and make the wrong decisions, yeah, you're gonna make that number. But at the same time, I knew that his father had just left his mother.
Mm-hmm.
His mother is a drinker,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just like, damn, this is tough. I understand. Shit is tough,
Yeah.
Sometimes your parents may not show you what to be, they show you what not to be. And that's what I told him.
Right.
And he told my daughter, a while back, to tell me thank you for what I told him.
Mm-hmm.
And, he started to make better decisions. He actually left his mom and went to go stay with his dad.
Mm.
Dad left because of the mom's drinking problems. I understand that.
Yeah.
But I don't think you should be leaving the kid with that. Like, you're not the problem, take your kid. I'm
Right.
not a big fan of leaving children with irresponsible parents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I tell men all the time, get your kid. If you're the responsible one, take your kid.
Right.
In situations like that, that's like you're being set up for failure.
Absolutely.
You don't see the wrongdoings right here because you're a kid. You don't know no fucking better. And I get that. I give all grace to kids.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Because they deserve it. They didn't ask to be here.
Right. That's a fact. No, they didn't. And that's why it goes back to, are you a hater? All right. Are you a hater? Is that all you have to contribute? Because what happens, imagine if actually people did start improving themselves. Where do you stand? If all you have to do, if the only thing you can offer is exploiting and taking full advantage of people's pain and their horrific stories in life, and you avoid all of the good, and you're a person that's extremely subjective, not objective, what happens if people start doing better for themselves and start experiencing love and good in their life? Then what, you then become obsolete. You know what I'm saying? You're an ambulance chaser. You can't speak to people doing right, people doing good, and you don't even give any form of advice how to avoid the wrong in a practical way. Like what I was experiencing earlier today was, America's so bad, and Greenland and Iceland is where they at, but these Negroes ain't in no Greenland. You here, like on the dating scene, you're actively involved. And I asked someone, I said, are you a contributor to the problems that you just made mention of? Like, do you partake in all of those negative things that you said? Or are you more solution based against those things that you said? And they refused to answer. They were like, wait, huh? What do you mean? I'm like, come on, man. You know what you just said. So it's a place to be, you know what I'm saying? And we got to be responsible and take an account for who it is we allow into our lives. You got to be responsible for that. That's who we all are. I can think of a lot of negative people but I can't tell you much interaction I have with them. And that's because they're negative. So why would I have interaction with them, yet alone a romantic relationship with them? What did they do for me to allow them in? You know what I mean? What's going on? How are you?
Hang on.
You young, bro. You know that, right?
What?
You too young, bro. I can't
I'm
have
like,
you
how
up
old are
here.
you?
We don't even need to know the answer to that, cat.
I know you want to talk to the adults, but it was kind of eye-opening, you know, speaking to the younger kids the day me and another one of my mutuals did. You know, they gave us some interesting information. I was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Damn. You know, they got tough. The one kid told me that they school only let them use the bathroom once a week. At school. I said, what? Once a week? Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Schools is sick. I don't know. I mean, I got the 18 and older on here, but you know, people can get log in on other people's accounts, their parents' accounts, or another family member, or whatever the case may be. But the thing is, I ain't having no conversation with no child online. That's the last thing I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? I could speak to you
I
person.
respect that.
I've ran into kids who like, we watch your content, I know you and stuff like that, which I want you to watch it. You know,
Yeah.
it's for kids, especially the things that's for kids. I don't do lives for children. I do events for families and children and stuff like that. But I'm not gonna engage in these type of conversations. Freak no, because then it could become something else. And you was talking to this one, and who was that? And like, nah, not at all. But they
So
seem
what
to
are
be
we
a
saying?
magnet.
Who's a hater? How do we know we have permission to hate something?
When it's evil,
It's evil.
yeah.
Okay.
You're supposed to hate evil and love good. And evil is going to be things that's against God and against all forms of humanity. It's diabolical in nature. You know what I'm saying? But hate could just be you're informed of it. There's not really much you're gonna do. Like, I can know somebody who's worthy to be hated, but I'm not gonna act on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand, and I feel like I have to say, as a woman in a woman's body, I can see that as a man. You know, but as a woman, I can't see it.
What do you mean?
Like,
love you too.
I can't hate things, right? Because I feel like I don't want to judge. That's not my place to judge anybody. Because guess what? Our maker is going to judge.
That's
true.
true.
He's going to judge you for your transgressions. I don't got to answer for nobody else's sins but my own. You know what I'm saying? So why do I don't got to hate you for you doing what you want to do with your life. You know what I'm saying? Most people are going to hate themselves.
That's true.
Because of their life. So, I'm not going to put that condensation in my mind, in general, to hate. Unless you have done something to really, like, cross me, and it's like, now I have to have that fuel for you, that's deep. You have to really, like, do something real fucked up, you know what I'm saying? But
watch that language.
Everybody is going to suffer the consequences of their own actions.
Very true.
So this is why I don't fuel that in my mind as a woman. You understand? Because my nurturing skills is to give grace. That's my superpower as a woman. To give grace.
I like how you put that.
So I will never fuel myself to be a man. I don't want to be a man. So this is why I let men do them. When y'all talk the way y'all do, I see it because I'm like, you're a man. Of course you're going to see things way different than me. Because you're a man. You have a man's mind. So I'm not going to stop a man from thinking the way he's going to do because I'm not a man. I don't have that brain. I'm a woman. I'm powered by divine feminine to give grace.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to keep that for myself. I don't want to keep fueling myself with hate, to turn into a beast. That's not me.
I like that. I like that.
I came in the beginning of her saying that, like, if I gotta do this, I'll give you grace. And then I was like, oh, so whose head we gotta get on? It's like, wait a minute, hold on, pause. Like, wait, whatever.
We're talking about haters.
And then I was listening to her. I was like, oh, okay, never mind. I just came on I just came on the wrong side of her saying something. Never mind.
As a woman, I love my feminine energy. I don't want to be out in the world, fueled up like all the goddamn time. No.
Yeah.
I want to be in my essence at all time.
Mama, what's good in the D, Mama?
What's up, West Side? And I totally felt that. I get that.
That's cool.
Nothing much. Kids finally went to bed. I'm about to play the game with the hubbies. I'm about to play some zombies.
That's what's up. Picking up the sticks, going at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But nah, there is gonna be certain individuals who that's what it is that they require. But like I said, that's a particular emotion. Choosing to act on it, but being informed of its place, because I can basically just list some names and you'd be like, yeah, people need to hate them for real. Because that's all they've ever done to everyone else. All they've ever done is harm people. All they've ever done is separated families. They've destroyed communities. So somebody like that does not deserve love by any means. You know what I'm saying? But again, that's an evildoer. So that's somebody who God himself would even identify as somebody who should be hated. You know what I mean? Because they just have no moral compass whatsoever. So they're not trying to do anything outside of take advantage of people and harm people. Now, it's good to identify an individual like that and say that individual does not deserve love, because you're supposed to have love for people who are deserving of love. Now, somebody hurting you doesn't necessarily mean that that's somebody to hate. Because why? How did that come about, right? Forgiveness is a thing as well. But it is true that there's a time of war and there's a time for peace. So there can be times when, you know what, it's time to go ahead and do something. When people go to war, if you defending your community and defending your country, you can't be stopping to show love to the people that's attacking you. You can't stop and be like, I wonder if that guy got a family at home. Not while he's firing at you. You know what I'm saying? That you're going to either meet diplomatically and try to work it out at the table, or if that didn't work, all diplomacy didn't work and it's out the window, it's time to take action. So, what are you going to use? You're going to use a certain energy to protect the other energy. So if you love individuals, I love these families. We all love our families out here. We love our neighborhoods and we're defending them. We're going to have to act upon someone else's hate because we love them. The haters, which I'm about, those aren't even people that's even at that point. Those are people that's going to see you and say, oh, I just hate you, so I don't want good for you. I don't want you to have good. I don't want you to experience something positive in your life. I don't want you to experience something that's healthy in your life. So I don't want you to experience care and people loving you. And I don't want you to love someone else or take care of them. I want you to stay in this hurtful, harmful, toxic place with me so we can all just go to sleep and never wake up.
I felt that. I feel like me personally, when it comes from haters, when it comes for haters, like, for me, it depends on a level if I'm going to put some type of energy into it or not. And the reason why I personally say that is especially if it comes to family, it's like, I'm going to tell you what I feel like you're doing is wrong. Like, I'm gonna communicate with you. Like, I'm going to put some little forth of energy into it because like you're my family. Because to me personally, if I put a lot of emotions into you, especially if you're a family member and especially knowing the title that you have, I'm gonna put some type of energy to explain to you what you're doing is wrong. I feel like you're a hater because A, B, C, D, F, G, this, that, and the other. And if you, it's just based on that conversation, will depend on if I need to put forth any more energy. But like on the outside of that, depending on who you are, like if you're just a friend or an acquaintance or just anything along those lines, like I'm not obligated and I do not feel the need to put any forth energy to you. I'm not gonna do none of that shit. The only energy I'm gonna put into it is using my 2 feet and walking the fuck away. That's the only energy that I'm putting into anything. Right. I'm not gonna put no energy in running my mouth. I'm not gonna put no energy in feeling like explaining to you why I feel like you did this or none of that. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. That energy is gonna be put towards my feet stepping or me just keeping my mouth shut and acting like you ain't there.
Yeah, I like that. I like that because that's also preserving your love, your self respect, your self love. And you're like, I can't allow you to violate that. And the only reason why you're trying to violate that is because you are a hateful person. But I don't got any energy and time for you because what am I going to do? Arguing with you is pointless. And I'm not trying to convince you. You are who you are, but you're not who you are because of who I say. You are who you are based off of what it is that you do, what you choose and prefer to do. That because we always have a choice. You know what I'm saying? And we've been in situations, I'm sure we all have, where somebody is just like railing on you, just saying a whole bunch of craziness in platforms like this. And I'll be there and I'm like, what makes you think I even care what you got to say? Like, I'm here for the conversation, not for you. So if I enter into this space and the thing that's on the top of your mind is let me say something about you, a person you don't know, you're just an idiot. So I can't be mad at that. Like if I'm walking down the street and a dog is barking at me from the yard, what am I gonna do? Stop and bark back? You know what I mean? I'm just gonna keep going where it is that I'm going. You're bothered by me. I'm not bothered by you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I can definitely agree with that. I can definitely understand that.
Some people might actually stop and bark at the dog.
I ain't gonna cap with you. I would if I was on the streets and we talking about a literal dog. I'm like, Bubba, who you barking at? but then you already know it's a wrap. As soon as that motherfucker gets out, I'm out that bitch.
And you running.
I get to talking to him. I get to talking to the dog. I be like, oh, you so cute. What you barking at? They get now they start wagging their tail. They think, like, yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, like, he's so cute. Look at you.
I want to antagonize it. That's how I am. Like, look, you barking, you stuck. Who you barking at? Like, what is up? Remember what? Look, you gotta be childish sometimes, but for the good reason. Don't be childish like with people. You gotta have a sense of humor sometimes.
Yeah.
Shit, you gotta have a sense. Some people just be so serious all the time. It's like, come on, laugh. Like
laughter is good. Laugh.
It's absolutely good. And that's what people can't stand when they say those things and you laugh. Like they want to crack you, they want to break you. But you know, it's like I have to value your opinion first and foremost for you to say anything that's going to warrant a response from me. Now, I got to either look at it a couple of ways. I got to either look at it, well, what's everybody else hearing when this is going on? And are there impressionable minds in the room? So I need to make sure that what you're saying can be offensive, but that doesn't mean I'm offended by it because I identify you as who you are based off of what you're doing, right? So it's like we get into these spaces and it's like, listen, it's nothing personal. I'm only going to go off of the words of what you're using. And that's what I'm supposed to judge. I'm supposed to judge the words that's coming out of your mouth. I can't go in to try to do some psychoanalysis of you're this and I ain't with all of that. If you just said something, I'm going to respond to what you said. Now, either I'm going to respond with retaliation or I'm going to respond with, let's be for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. Stop trying to get my attention like that. Like, oh, you funny. But what about that question I asked you, though? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay. I get it. I get why you're saying what you're saying. But what about that question, though? What's the answer to that question again? Because that's what we're here to do. Let's not make us look bad before the world. Let's actually show that we have some form of decorum, some level of class, and we can be civil about it. It's all right if we disagree. But what about that question I asked you,
That's why, as a host, I don't like to play ring around the rosy with people,
though?
and they have a habit of doing that.
Yeah.
They have a real habit of running around just to make a simple statement. I be looking at people like, you must think I'm a sucker, sir.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't be dealing with that shit in the lives. That's why I be like, look, I don't have to tolerate you. Like,
Yeah.
I do not get paid to have to tolerate you. Okay? I really, really don't. Like, even when I go live, the most money I've ever made going live was $2. Okay? That is not enough for me to give a fuck. Okay?
Yeah.
That is so. No, this ain't Marmar. This is Cass. The one where I said maybe get older to the point where you kind of be looking like, man, I wish I had daddy issues. And he was like, where is your man?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that one.
Yeah.
But like, nah, like that's why I don't be doing that. It's like it's just immediate drop. Like I am not obligated to have to deal with your bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm really not.
Watch the language from me, Mama. Watch the language from me, please.
Oh, I apologize.
But go on.
But no, that was really about it. It's just like I'm not obligated to do this with you.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people fail to realize is they think people are obligated to have to sit here and do something when in like reality, like who are you?
Exactly.
Like you're nobody significant to me.
Yeah. Like I have a personal thing. I want to hear what y'all say about this. I have a personal thing. I don't argue with strangers. And the reason why I don't argue with strangers is because I don't know you and I don't want to know you. So if I'm going to argue with you, now I'm allowing you to know me and me to know you. And that could potentially lead to something where either you personally are going to be in my life or something could happen based off of you and me. And now I may have to deal with that for the next 3 to 9 years of my life, and you could done moved on. So why would I argue with a stranger? I feel you should be arguing with somebody who you know, who you care for, like you're trying to stop them from doing something they shouldn't do. You got what I'm saying? Like you're trying to stop them from hurting themselves. You're trying to stop them from walking out that door. You're trying to stop them from going to do something to someone else, which you know is going to get them in trouble. I'll argue with that individual, but like driving, being on a social media space, why would I argue with you?
I felt that. I do. I feel that. We can talk and have a conversation. Because that's how I try to run my page. It's just a conversation.
Right.
But in some ways, some stuff I'm not dealing with. Like when you want to act a fool and get to blocking people and sending crazy DMs, I'm not arguing with you. I don't gotta feed into that.
Yeah.
You just showing that you don't got no control over yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to acknowledge your wrongdoings of how you showed your tail.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
I shouldn't have to tell grown-ass people that, you showed your ass.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never had opposition, but then again, none of my topics have really been stirring that up. And I haven't put a prompt up yet. It's been more so just conversation. What you hear is what you hear. People watching from the background. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. So
I totally get that. That's what I did. That's what I pretty did. Hey, spiritual. That's what I pretty much did. Like when I first started out, until for some reason I just got snatched out of TikTok. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm still growing. I'm young. I'm still growing. Okay, I know I got my cup to fill. That's why I said last time. Like I know I'm young, but I'm not naive. Right. So, but. There's times I feed into it. I'm gonna lie, that's beauty. I'll be like, well, now what are you talking about? I was like, did anything of what you said make any sense?
Yeah.
And so I do feed into it sometimes because it's like there's no way you're being serious. And like the things that they say in like Beauty's Live or mine or Brandon's, it's like, do you really think like that though? Like, I'm just like so curious because there's no way. Like, so yeah, I do sometimes. I would definitely admit it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, but some posts I'll get opposition on the post, but even so, that like I've gotten posts that have hit. You know what I'm saying? People catch on and people get to talking, people get to sharing, people get to liking it, adding it to their favorites and stuff like that, and people really get behind it. Things like that, I would get opposition. Maybe on a panel, but typically I don't like to engage in negative spaces. So even on a panel, it's gonna be in an even ground, you know, because I'm not with the cursing you out and saying this, that, and the other. That's just not me, especially not in someone else's space. Because I want to be, you know, a gracious individual when I step in someone else's space. I'm not gonna step in someone else's space and then just start acting belligerent. So, but there may be some people who want to look at that. If it's a moderator, they're gonna do whatever it is they're gonna do, and I'm still gonna ask questions. I'm gonna be like, well, or I just disagree with you, and that's fine. Like, I'm not gonna believe what you're saying just because you're saying it. But I don't really have. I haven't had the situations when it's time to get your hands dirty. You know.
Huh.
You know. It's been cool. It's been quiet. It's been quiet for me, and most people who I speak with is people who I know already, which I'm good with. You know what I'm saying? I'm good with that. I'm good with that. And then on the YouTube space, I catch the views afterwards. So, and it's more of an international audience over there. You know, I got a good amount of people who check in from other countries and stuff like that in the YouTube space. On the TikTok space, it's more homeward bound. You know, America and stuff like that. But the other situations that is where it gets live at.
I mean, we've gotten people from a lot of different places.
Yeah.
UK mostly. They're a little bit of everywhere that come
Yeah.
up on my panels and Big Mama's panels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
UK is hot on here.
I do tend to post the topics that have people a little bit provoked.
Yes, I'm sure you do.
I do. So it brings the conversation. It does.
All right.
So I do think, me personally, I allow people to have their opinions.
Yeah.
Think the way you want to think. I'm not going to stop you. That's not my job.
Yeah, I get. I just more. For me personally, I'm just more on like the curious side. Like, I want to pick your brain, like, because I'm like, what really makes you think like this? Like, I really genuinely want to know, like, where did your mindset come from? Because the things that we be hearing, like, it's just like. It's like, wow, really? That's like how you genuinely feel. Like, how did you get like this?
Like, how did you get there?
Yeah.
Like, how? Who did that to you? Oof, my gosh.
And it's just like I want to pick your brain.
Mm-hmm.
I just pick your brain.
And some days it's picking. Picking is too much. I done picked in some brains and I was like, ooh, I wish I never would have dug
Right.
There's an empty shell.
Oh, yes. It get like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done that. I've petted the wrong dog before. And they went to bite, and I moved my hand back.
Like, ooh, hold on.
Yeah. And I was like, "Oh no, don't worry. I sent that to the wrong person. I clearly wasn't for you." But they didn't want to let go.
I feel like that's a moment where I myself effed around and found out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I should have never kept going.
Yeah.
I should have never kept going. I ended up effing around and finding out myself.
And at my big age, I feel like when you get this age,
Yeah.
you know better.
Yeah.
I know better.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is why I literally I began to ask a question, and then I have to stop myself and be like, do you really want to know that?
Right. Yeah.
That's why that's why when someone says, I'm like,
that is none of my business.
Like, I'm fighting the air if I want to say something.
Yeah.
Like, you're making this hard.
Yeah.
I'm that you had that.
Yeah, because in real life, one time, you know Times Square, right?
You had that.
You know Times Square, right? In Manhattan, Times Square?
Yep.
One time I was out there, this is years ago. This is New Year's, right? New Year's, as they call it, as stupidness. So I had to use the bathroom bad. And it's actual New Year's Eve. So, the streets is crowded. Like, you can't even go anywhere without bumping into people. So I opened up this one door to go to use the bathroom. I opened up the door. It was wild dudes on the bar dancing nude and all of that. I said, oh, hell no. And I closed that door and I was out of there. You know what I mean? But again, that's what happens. You step into the wrong space. You better know how to
Oh, you
evacuate.
stepped into the rainbow bar.
Yeah, you better evacuate the premises ASAP.
You got to go.
So I walked into, certain rooms and stuff like that, and you like, hey, what's going on here? And somebody's like, well, ain't you obtuse? And I was like, let me get out of here, man. Like, what are you talking about? That's like, come on now. That's how you respond to people, like immediately, like ASAP, like just as soon as it starts. So that's how you know
Yeah,
that
being
that person's
obtuse.
a
I'd be
crash
like,
out.
obtuse. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, what are you even talking about? Stop. You can tell when a person is trying so hard to not try at all. You know what I mean? Like, we got to know when enough is enough. Like, you got to be able to have some form of substance first. Like, let it be credible. If everybody, because it's too predictable. That's the thing I can't mess with. It's just way too predictable. It's like, I know what you're going to say. I know why you're going to say it. And I know where you're going to say it's coming from. So it's like, what's the point even? And too many people respond to that. I find too many people believe what it is that they're hearing, and then they respond. And it's like, you can't tell they're lying. That
Some
just
people
don't add
can't.
up.
They don't have the instincts.
True. That's true.
If
And
you wasn't develop the skills, right? Because I make it a point to tell people, like, how do you expect a young person to pick better when they don't know better? Like, you want them to see through everything. Like, how does that work? If you were raised in a good upbringing in a good household with no problems, you're gonna think that other people are like you.
right,
You're gonna think that everything outside of your household is just the same.
right,
You're not gonna know that this dude is trying to sucker you and try to have sex with you, and that's it.
mm-hmm.
You're not gonna know that.
Give me a
Unless
moment,
someone
y'all.
tells you.
Continue.
So, unless someone gives you the skills to know better. So this is what we be on some, like, when people say pick better, that vetting system don't even work. You could know somebody, you could be with somebody for 20 years and never know them.
I feel like to an extent though, when it comes to that, is I think there are some things when it comes to vetting that you can tell off of. You know what I'm saying? But you can't tell everything. Like, I don't know, like, I agree with you, but I feel like there's some circumstances where you would be able to tell some shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, my bad, my language, I apologize. Where you could tell, I'm not used to that, so I'm working on it, I promise. I'm really not trying to do it better. Yeah. Like, if I'm betting you, you obviously gonna know your what to look at, like what are red flags to you, and I feel like that's good to look for in your betting process. Or but I agree with you, like you're not gonna know everything though.
So this is why, like, I've been talking to the girls, like, you gotta put the girls up on game. This is why things is the way they are. You know what I'm saying? It's very unfortunate for what it is, but most women are taught, if they want to be a wife and they want to do certain things, they have to, like, save themselves and don't do things with men, and don't go to his house, and, like, you're told not to do certain things. They in public, do a background check, stuff like that. Like,
Right.
Go to the clinic before you decide to have sex with him, so he's clean. Like, women had to be taught these things. Like, if you don't know, if somebody just sent you out to the world with no information, you're not gonna know anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's true. You got to be exposed to healthy relationships to know what to look for, to know what to accept, and to know what to project, to know what to put forth, and to know what's tolerable. You know, because you don't know anything about a other person when you meet them. So you got to have like a some form of like a screening. So you know, like they got to make it through. You know, like I got these 10 things, and let's see, can they get past, and how much do they actually get past to make it to the next level? And if you have made it to the next level, what should we compromise? What's a non-negotiable? You know what I'm saying? Like respect. Respect should not be something that you compromise based off of anything else. That should be a non-negotiable. Um, if the person has self-inflicting behavior where they're inflicting harmful things to themselves, whether mentally, emotionally, if they doing that to themselves, what you think they're gonna do to you, right? So if like they're drinking in excess, those are abusive attributes. So what you think is gonna happen with you? You know, what do you think is gonna happen when there's problems? Because there's gonna be problems. What do you think is gonna happen when you disagree with them? Are they gonna respond in a healthy manner? Like, wait, what's going on? Why? And let's work this one out, or let's try to reason together. Or are they gonna start flipping over furniture? You know what I'm saying?
I understand that.
I understand.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you, I was in Jamaica one time and I met a young lady out in Jamaica, and she was from Connecticut, and she was Jamaican, but I met her in a club in Jamaica. But at this time, she lived in Connecticut, and then when we got home back in the states, I went out to go see her. Right, I went out to go see her, spent the day with her, and everything else. Believe it or not, I actually even spent the night at her house, met her moms, everything. But I slept alone. I actually slept in a room by myself. Her mother gave me a room and everything. Dropped off her mother at work. Like, it was a real wild story. But anyway, she later came and saw me, like some time later. And when she came and saw me, she was just freaking out, like acting real crazy, like wilding out. She was like she was I was having work done in my house, and she was trying to look through one of the doors, and I was telling her that the because they was stripping the paint on the other side of the door, you're not going to be able to see through. And she literally flipped out on me. And I was like, "Hey, guess what? It's time for you to go. You got to leave immediately." You know what I'm saying? But it happens.
Wait, so she flipped out because you didn't want to show the work that was being done to the room?
No, she flipped out because I was telling her you're not going to be able to see through the door, the peephole on the door. This was one of the doors in the house, and she wanted to look through it. And I was like, "Oh, you're not going to be able to look through because on the other side of the door they were stripping the paint. So when they were
Okay, so the
stripping the
people was
paint,
coming.
right." So I was telling her you're not gonna be able to see through, but that in itself just bothered her, and she was like, I'm freaking trying here, and I was like, "Yo, what the hell?"
Oh,
She ain't say freaking, of course, and all of that stuff, and I'm like, "Yo, what the hell?"
so she just started bugging out. Oh,
Yeah,
oh, that's
yeah,
weird.
and she wasn't there alone. She was there with friends because she was in the
Well,
That's
neighborhood.
crazy. She felt no embarrassment. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, she was there with friends because she was in my neighborhood at the time. So she
Was the
asked, "Could she
friends
come by?"
backing her up or anything? Like, were they backing up what she was saying, or like, what were they doing?
They were in another part of the house, so it was just her and I alone at that particular part of the house.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay, got
they
you.
were
So that's still
downstairs and
embarrassing,
we were
though.
yeah,
Like,
upstairs.
because if you
that's
don't
still
want to open the
embarrassing.
door, them fumes
Right,
to strip the paint is harsh.
That just
exactly.
lets it know about her body, because that's why I be loving picking at people's brains, because I be watching stuff. I don't know why I find it intriguing, but sometimes it can get draining.
Yeah,
It
But like
does.
it really does. Because for me personally, my past life, I had to train myself to be like that. So
Right.
it's a survival thing for me. And sometimes that can be draining. Like, that can really be draining. But when I hear stuff like this, or if I've been in a situation like that, my first thought would be the fact that you want to be alone, you're not willing to open this door, just lets me know that you know you're in the wrong. Like, you know that you're tripping out for no reason. Because, like, why are you doing all this?
Right.
Like, I'm not going to sit there and put energy into this situation. That's, like, my first thought. Like, I would have never, like, yeah, no, you're going to move. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna let me out of this room. I'm not doing this with you. Like, no, you just no. I'm not doing this.
Yeah. Like y'all ever have people in your house and they going in your cabinets?
You said what?
People in your house and they're going in your cabinets.
No.
Y'all never y'all never had that happen?
Okay, so for me, it depends on who you are. You have to be family in order for me to be comfortable with that. Like, if you're like my mom, my siblings, or like, you know, like my man's family, you know what I'm saying? Like his mom, whatever.
Yeah.
Y'all can come in. I don't care. Eat. Like, if you need to wash yourself or go wash it, I don't care. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it depends on who you are. But if you're just like a friend, no, don't come up here feeling like you guys know. Okay, listen, please don't do that. Don't touch my stuff like that.
No.
Yeah.
Like if you thirsty or hungry or something, just let me. I got you. Okay, I got you. I ain't gonna deny nobody no food, but don't just go and
Like, if
walk
you're a
into people's
guest,
stuff.
Right.
Right. Like
if you're a guest, then you're a guest. Act accordingly. But if once you become like, for me, like once you're like a real close friend, nigga, go in there and pull yourself some drinks. Go in the refrigerator. Go get what you want.
Yeah.
But like, you just a guest. Have a seat. That's weird.
Right. Ask me.
Yeah.
Ask me.
Like, why is you all over my stuff? That's like going through somebody's panty drawer. Like, what? Who?
Yeah.
You're weird.
Yeah, like
That's
imagine
why I have
that.
a rule in my house where
What's good, Arthur?
nobody is allowed in my bedroom. I don't care who you are. I don't care. If anybody needs to be in our room, one of us needs to be in our room. It has to be either me or my man that needs to be in our room. There should be no reason why you're in my room where my biggest comfortability in the house is, okay? And there's no need for you to be in there. There's nothing you'll need. That's the biggest rule I stand on. That goes for kids, too. My own kids are not allowed to murder.
Right.
Like, they're not allowed to murder at all.
Nah, that's 100%. That's 100%. I'm with that all the way. You don't do that. Like there's certain things where you belong, social areas, shared spaces, and certain places you have no business at. Y'all know the dude who matter of fact, wasn't it in Detroit? Dude where he was at this guy's house party and either he was washing his hands in the kitchen sink or he spit in the kitchen sink. And the dude whose apartment it was, he checked him. He was like, yo, bro, how you gonna do that here? And the dude got upset. So he told him, you gotta leave, acting like that. And then he came back and he unalived him.
That's crazy. I don't think I've probably seen it, just don't remember.
Yeah.
I know. I'll ask my homegirl. She'll probably know. She's still there. She'll probably know. That's crazy. I believe it though.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, if it was,
Look,
I
my
feel
city
it was
is not
like
good known for good things. I know that for a fact.
that.
That's why I don't be sitting here flexing. Oh, I'm from Detroit. What up? Like, like I'm not. No, I'm sorry. My city is really not known for that. I mean, yeah, we're known for making good rappers, etc. Like, we known for doing that. But it's like, other than that, we're really no.
Yeah.
No, we're really not.
Detroit got crazy dispensaries.
It's ghetto as fuck. I mean, it's ghetto as fuck. It is ghetto. It's just straight ghetto-ness. All over Detroit, out of Michigan, everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere in that vicinity, it's just straight ghetto.
Yeah, it's a lot of dispensaries and a lot of it is outdated. Like they haven't updated major parts of the city in a long time and they just leave it look like the 70s or something like that or the 50s. Like they just ain't touch it at all. They just left it and let it just be run down. Auto shop, dispensary. Auto shop, dispensary. Nothing. Couple of abandoned buildings. Auto shop, dispensary. Auto shop, dispensary. It's like how many dispensaries you gonna have?
That's all I thought.
You know what I mean? Because I spent a lot of time in Detroit, especially last year. I was in Detroit doing a lot of business in Detroit. A lot of business in Detroit and even Gary, Indiana. And Gary, Indiana looked like they ain't touched nothing. They ain't look like they ain't paint nothing since 1939 out in Gary. So a lot of places in the Midwest, they just not taking care of it the way how they should, unless it's like big business, then they doing something there. But for the people
That's
really
crazy.
to enjoy,
Yeah. It's
You need to just tear everything down and turn it into farmland.
well, not like Beauty. Remember that slide I sent you that was talking about like what side of Detroit you grew up? You know, like it was a holy airball trend. Yeah, and you notice how in every single one of those pictures, it just looked toward the toward down, just like you were saying. Like it just looks all tore down. Nothing. Like he's not lying. That's that place for you. Like.
Well, I mean, I know there's places in the world that are like turning it into ghost towns, because that's how it was in Wilson, right?
Yeah.
Because literally, like, all of the stores was basically abandoned. There was like a McDonald's or like a gas station here and there, but like to get to places to shop, it was like a nice little hour at least drive, you know, to get to like a Walmart or something like that, like real destitute. Like the bus stops working at like 6. So like if you don't got no vehicle, you really stuck out there. Like there's no real movement space there. So I know what y'all trying to say, because literally like where my aunt lived at, the house that was like right in front of us was abandoned. The one down the way was abandoned. Like there was so many abandoned houses. I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Burnt down, left out. They got parts like in North Carolina, parts of Lumberton, North Carolina. They got certain projects where, ever since like certain hurricanes, I think they had like Hurricane Matthews, and ever since then, management said we're not even accepting any new tenants, and we're just gonna leave the building. We're just gonna leave all of the units. That's it. So when you're over there in places like that, it looks completely deserted, and the only tenants that's still there, let's say it's about 100 apartments, only 10 of them are occupied, and the ones that's occupied is all the way in the back. So the only thing that's gonna happen is people gonna get involved in crimes. People gonna dump bodies there. People gonna get involved in you know what type of activities there, because nobody's there looking. Nobody's gonna see you. So you go out there to earn your dollar or spend your dollar on some trash, nasty, flea infested box, and that's the type of stuff you're gonna get.
Yep.
You know.
I ain't gonna lie to you. When my mom moved us from Harlem back in the late 90s to Florida, right? Where we lived at, it was not like really like real destitute, but it was a little ghetto. I ain't gonna lie to you, it was a little ghetto. There was like trailer parks and stuff like that, and I like the real nice ones, like trailer trash style, like trailers, you know. And every so often you see the base heads, of course, and I was just like, whoa, you know. You know what I mean? I left the fast pace of Harlem to move down here, and I'm thinking it's gonna be nice, peaceful, and everything. But once we got like adjusted, it was still like it was still a little bit like a suburb, you know. But in different areas, you see different things, right? Apartment complexes, things like that. Like it was different. I can say that. But being that it has a military base, like Jacksonville has 2 bases: the CISA Fields and NAS Mayport. So those were the major things that kept that little area up and running, because They have the military, the Coast Guard, you know, all in that little area. So other than that, it wasn't that bad of an area. But I know now that they gentrified 100%. So a lot of this place looks totally different. Like a lot of the houses and trailer parks is gone. Like they built a lot of reserves and different roadways and stuff like that to keep it, you know, up and running because, you know, it's a military town.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
If it wasn't
that's
for
an
the military,
improvement.
nah, I don't think that area would stay the way it was.
Are you done?
No. You want me to finish some?
Yes.
What y'all doing?
Oh.
Y'all don't know. Oh, okay. I
My
got.
phone, I'm quiet. I'm still here though. I'm listening. I'm over playing the game and listening.
Oh,
Yeah.
somebody else came up.
Yeah.
Hello.
What's up, author? Mademoiselle,
Hey, how
what's
y'all
going
doing?
on? We good? We just talking? Yes, baby.
Nothing much. Chilling. Just finished my first residency.
Oh yeah.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Thank you. My first of 4.
Congratulations.
I'm ready to get this over with.
That's what's up.
That's it. I always say never put fast forward on your life. Don't fast forward your life.
What you doing?
We covered the dissertation part. I found my chair.
What?
Now I got to get my title together.
Change your clothes. Don't change your clothes.
So are you a doctor? I'm working on my doctorate. Okay.
Go change it.
So I am a doctorate candidate. All right, tone up, queen.
You ready to take a look at my foot?
Not full candidate.
I got some pain in my foot.
Look, I know that's right. It's too. You getting that money too. I know you about to.
I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it to help people. That's my goal.
No, of course, but you still gonna be getting that bank though. Shit. I mean, God, Lord, man. But you still gonna be getting that money though.
That funyuns.
Here y'all go. Well, I need you to check out my foot, soon to be doctor.
No, it's for clinical psychology. I want to help the adolescents get themselves together before they go out into the world.
Hey, baby girl.
I want to help their mental health.
And shut up the bathroom light. Look, the light in the bathroom.
They need the most influence before they step out into the world. A man tried to go against me because I spoke about a proposal that I've been trying to write about opening a boarding school for runaways
Yeah.
and CPS youth. I think that's a great thing. Absolutely. And then he was like, I told him I would want to keep it up to 25. And he was like, why? 18. I was like, sir. No. I was like, sir, statistics say that 60% of foster care youth, once they leave the foster care system, will end up unalived or in jail. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, no, that's true. Because someone who came out of the system for 11 years, like I came out messed up. I sure did. I went through a whole midlife crisis. I was out here partying. I was out here doing stuff. I didn't care. Like I just really did not care about my well-being. Like that's true. And it's like you're so used to having things done for you. They don't even teach you life skills within the system. Like when your appointments are set up through the system, everything's set up through the system. And like when you turn 18 or you get out of the system, depending on the situation, it's like, oh, here you go, you're free, and I have a nice one. Like, okay, what am I doing? Look at kids who come from even a 2-parent or even a single-parent home and get out on their own. If they're struggling as is at 18, kids who come out of foster care struggle even more. No one should leave, in my opinion, after 18.
unless you have at least a 3 to 5 year plan in place and active. Because there's no way they can go out on their own and actually stand by themselves. A majority of them fail within the first 2 years of walking out on their own.
They sure do.
My oldest is 20, and he's still home. He is not on his own yet because he's not able to yet. The way the financial situation is out there in the world, there is no way he would survive on his own. None. When my brother went out on his own, I did not. True. And I was married. I still did not. No.
Right.
I had to go into the military to survive on my own. It's not possible. And for these parents to hype up their kids, and for even the system to hype up kids and say, "Oh, at 18, you're an adult, you can do it by." No, it's not. It's not possible.
Right. You can't put a set number on life. That's not even how life works.
No. And a lot of schools and a lot of these other systems are not even equipping kids to be able to stand on their own 2 feet when they become adults.
Yeah.
They've taken a lot of programs out that would even allow them to do that.
Sorry, yeah, that's the door.
They're not teaching them the budget. They're not teaching them economics. They don't know how a lot of these banking systems work. They don't know how to save their own money. They know how to tell you the name brands of clothes, shoes, that whole nine. But how do you properly set a budget so you can eat?
Yeah, I agree with that.
How can you take a whole chicken and make it last 3 days?
Right.
Because I can tell you how to. I know how. I can actually make it last 5 if I want to.
Which is more cost effective than buying them tenders you bought at the restaurant, spending X amount, and you could have bought the whole chicken and had chicken for 3 days.
I can buy the same strips that you want to buy at McDonald's. I can buy a pack of strips and make it last longer.
And it's real chicken.
And real chicken. And make it
Now,
real chicken.
Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm glad I picked up on a good habit of that. I'm glad I know how to budget when it comes to stuff like that. I'm glad I learned that at a young age. I'm not gonna lie.
Me too.
That does save a lot. That does save a lot. I'm the same way. I'd rather cook at home. Like I'd rather learn new stuff, cook at home. Oh, I've never tried this. Okay, well guess what? We trying it tonight. Okay, I'm glad that's one of the habits I picked up.
And my oldest and I, when he was 16, I wrote a cookbook with him. And in that cookbook, he wrote out different recipes for kids his age, for adolescents and young adults, on how to cook different meals and cost-efficient meals for his age group. And it's an inexpensive cookbook, but it teaches you how to cook different meals, stromboli, healthy spaghettis, things like that. And it's different meals from different countries.
Mm-hmm.
And you said it's who made
It's a cookbook. It's a cookbook called Kitchen Slayers.
I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm gonna have to check it out.
And he and I wrote, well, mainly he wrote it. He did the recipes. I just wrote the cookbook.
So then, where do you go through to check out the cookbook? Do you guys sell them?
Mm-hmm. It's on every book platform.
Okay. But...
Yeah.
I'm gonna do one with my middle, and I'm gonna do one with my youngest, because all 3 of them cook. And that's another thing as a parent that I feel like every system and every parent should teach their kid. By a certain age, they should know how to cook too.
And I tell a lot of people too, teach them other stuff outside of what would be considered the norm of what people do. Cook, clean, take care of you. Because with my son, I taught him how to plant. I've been teaching him how to plant stuff, grow things. Last year, we were growing cantaloupes, we grew tomatoes, strawberries. He knew every morning, get up, okay, let's go water the plants. And I can tell people, also teach your kids outside of what you consider the normal, need to know basis. Like there's nothing wrong with doing that. And I be hearing a lot of opposition. Man, it's sad to hear that. I'm not gonna lie, that's sad to hear that. But it's like,
It's really unfortunate.
right, and it's like, but what is so wrong with that? Like, you're teaching your kids survival skills, and you just keep going and adding to it. There's nothing wrong with knowing too much.
But that's teaching them responsibility on top of that. You're teaching them not just to survive, that's responsibility. That's teaching them that if you take care of something, it grows. Now you're also teaching them relationships, a symbiotic relationship.
SAT word. Okay.
You're teaching them how to grow relationships between them and the outside world, but between when they get in relationships with other people, if I pour into you, I can grow you. If you pour into me, you grow me.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
It's bigger than what we think it is sometimes, and we don't realize it until it pays off later. Now you've taught him a bigger life skill out of a small one.
Yeah, that's really good, and plus it's maintenance on how to maintain yourself and how to deal with the ups and downs of society. Because what happens if you go to the supermarket and there's no food? All it takes is a couple of trucks to be backed up, one issue on the highway, and that's it. And then what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Because those type of things happen for real, and you got a lot of people who they don't care about the people who they affect, but they care about the company. So people who are maybe against a certain company for whatever reason, maybe they exploiting people or they taking advantage of people or even harming people. So they're like, oh, we're gonna stop their trucks. So they're gonna stop the whole process. And it's the people in the cities, the peoples in the towns is gonna be affected the most over something like that. Not too long ago, like in Tennessee, North Carolina border, they was, you know, hitting the tires out on trucks and doing all of that type of stuff and attacking drivers and
on
things
the
like
95
that.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
On 40, on I-40, and things like that. So those are the type of things that's gonna mess up a whole economy. So if you're there waiting for them to show up, even with gas, sometimes it could be a natural disaster, and you're waiting for them to show up with gas. They're not gonna show up with gas. So you better find some other means on how to make it.
And that's another thing too, like with eggs, with the price of things going up and down constantly, that's a safety measure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you better learn fast, and you better have some form of community that you interact with. You know what I'm saying? Can't be out here being a hater, hating everybody who crosses paths with you. Then you're gonna find out you need them, and guess what? They're not gonna be there for you.
My grandma has been, she just turned 90 last month. That woman has been gardening my entire life. I taught my youngest how to garden. He's the one who loves it the most. He's 12 and he's been gardening. He loves it. So that's generations. That's 4 different generations from her to my aunts and uncles to me to my youngest that's been gardening.
Right.
And that's something that should be passed too, that we've forgotten how to, not even forgotten how to do, but forgotten to do. Is pass stuff through generations. And keep passing that information.
They want us dumb it in a box of rocks. There's a lot of people who don't even know that fruits grow from seeds.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's so many seedless fruits. And so many seedless fruits, a lot of people think that that's how they are. And then by the time you try to actually buy a fruit with seeds, especially like watermelon now, because it's the season for it, watermelon be like $15 just for one.
Yeah. And it's worth it. I ain't even gonna hold it. It's worth the pennies.
It is. I ain't gonna lie.
It is. Absolutely. Listen.
It is.
I'm just learning to take certain dollars away from the Jewish brands. I'm not even gonna hold you. Take the dollar away from them. Stop buying processed foods. and we'll know that once you notice that once you put the money towards the foods that you need to be eating, you'll be less hungry.
Yeah, it does make you much healthier.
Very
That
true.
I've noticed. Diet changes. That's why I eat more. Not I eat out from time to time, but I prefer eating like making food from other countries because their food is less fattening, and they don't
Oh,
cook
yeah.
their food the way we do.
They don't. We be putting all that fat and stuff in it. Don't get me wrong. I love a good soul food plate, but that's a
I don't
every
even
once
eat
in a
that
blue.
much. Yeah.
You ain't supposed to
Thanksgiving?
eat that 7 days a week.
Nope.
Right.
I eat it Thanksgiving. I eat it for Christmas and maybe for Resurrection. That's about it. Other than
You
that,
know?
I'm good.
Like I get to eat that ham once a year. Once.
See, I've started doing
Swan.
I brought an indoor plug-in grill. So
Yeah.
I've been doing steaks on the grill this summer and I've been doing chicken on the grill this summer. That's it.
Okay.
And chicken.
Well, I got me a good old George Foreman grill, and that bad boy does work.
Oh,
That's
and the
right.
marinade thing. Oh, I've been playing with making my own different marinades. Honey, with the Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah. I mean, cooking is great. Like, I feel like I've been cooking as long as I can remember. Like, it's just something that I've always liked doing. So I don't feel like it's a task to cook.
Yeah, it's fun. That's me.
You know, it's not a task to do. It's a task to clean up, but.
Oh, and see, that's the thing too. I keep the cleanup simple too.
I know. So do I.
I make the kids do the sides, and then my youngest puts the stuff in the dishwasher. So cleanup is easy.
I was a big Rachel Ray fan, so the trash bowl helps.
Yeah. But I've changed my rice too. I don't eat regular white rice. It's either basmati or jasmine.
Okay.
All times because it's much healthier.
Mm-hmm.
It's Asian rice is one of the most healthy rices you can eat.
You
and
have wild rice?
Regular white rice.
Wild rice? You like that?
I don't like the texture of wild rice.
Yeah.
I kind of.
I don't mind it. So. It depends on what meal it's going with.
Right.
It's about, you know, once you learn to, I crave certain things. So if I have a craving for it, you know, the wild rice and some chicken and stuff, hey. You know, my kids make fun of me because I put like nuts and stuff on everything. So I like a little bit of a texture to my foods.
Yeah, see, I told you before, I'm Cass. We're kind of neuro in my house, so you know we have texture, taste and smell issues. So we picky a little, not picky, but certain things we just can't eat over there. The middle one is the most neurodivergent. So there are certain things I just don't buy.
Like tapioca.
Or tapioca. Why would you even bring that up?
You said tapioca.
Oh, girl.
The fact that you said
that stuff.
You always say
slap them.
It's just a rice pudding. It's literally just a rice pudding.
Tapioca, she said.
I remember I tried that stuff one time. I was like, who thought of this? Oh, God. Whoever you gave that idea to, no. That was a bad idea. Real bad.
But it's not for everybody. Like I can't eat cottage cheese.
This
cottage cheese just.
That's another one. I can't do that. I can't do that either. I will eat carrot salad before I eat that too.
Carrot salad?
Look, there are some things I will eat voluntarily before I eat that.
Yeah.
And see,
we all have our own textures.
I think of tapioca. So I see sorbet, and it's just like, I want it so bad. I like how sorbet tastes, but I can't do it because that's the first thought process my mind goes to.
Tapioca.
Is it because it's chunky, or is it because it's smooth?
Because I think of tapioca.
Oh, okay. It's a dysmorphia for you.
Yep. It's a auditory look. And as soon as I see it, it's like, no. I can't. Certain things, if I see them and it looks like something else, even if it's not that, I can't do it.
Okay, so you have a food dysmorphia.
It's a neuro thing. Yeah.
I'm gonna let you ladies continue. I'm just gonna wrap up over here on YouTube on the other side. Sorry, Arthur, I forgot to tell you. Everybody on YouTube, appreciate y'all checking in today. Y'all definitely, if y'all want to continue on, especially hear some good dietary insight, catch us over on TikTok. If not, I definitely catch you guys the next time. Appreciate y'all. All of the likes, the shares, the comments over there, my YouTube people. Catch y'all some more. Out of here. So gotta end that one.